It's pretty easy to make promises you don't intend to keep when you're in the opposition, but Republicans are now beginning to realize that they can't just rely on buzzwords and empty slogans forever. See, Donald Trump assured his wealthy donors that his presidency would serve their interests, and it has. Massive tax cuts for the rich have been funded by slashing vital services and infrastructure, hurting the most vulnerable while padding the pockets of billionaires.
The reason we're so enthusiastic about running next year is we have a real record to run on. Mondami and Democrats want to talk about affordability? We love that subject. We love it. Look at the facts. I brought some this morning. It's the Republicans who are working every day to make life more affordable for working families. And it's not a talking point for us. We are delivering. After 4 long years of skyrocketing prices under the Biden administration, we had to take over. You don't flip a switch and reverse that overnight. It takes a while to work those policies out of the system and to get the new ones in. President Trump and Republicans are delivering results for the American people that they can see and feel.
We're down on energy. We're down on interest rate. You know, interest rates are down despite the Fed. Now, if we had a normal person at the Fed would have really low interest rates, and we will soon have that. We'll have somebody that's...
And why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over $20 trillion come into our economy, and it's largely because of my election, but it's also largely because of tariffs.
Prices are up in the United States for coffee. It's up almost 20%. Utility up 11.7%. And then electricity is up 5.1%. And vehicle repair, if you need your car fixed, it's up 11.5%.
I agree with you completely. And, you know, this idea of affordability, which just basically means inflation, that prices are too high, and that's a real sensitivity spot for people, is, I think, something that Republicans do have to look carefully at. It's obvious that they're very aware of it. I saw James Blair today on with Larry Kudlow talking about how he believes that what they're seeing in the future indicator economic numbers are very positive. Scott Bessent has implied the same thing. So obviously, before you get to the midterms, Republicans are going to want to work on making sure that that is tangible, that, you know, that people feel that increase. And I think, you know, if the economy is stupid, it ends up being the simple story of a lot of elections. And I think that's clearly one of the lines here.
John, yeah, we're in it. We're in it.
Well, that's like a historian of revolution has just told us we're in it. God, I was trying to be delicate.
Oh, yeah, dude. People are flicking matches at a tinderbox right now.
Mike, I was trying to be coy.
Now, whether or not it's going to go off, nobody knows. But, dude, we're there. We've been there for years. The big takeaway from revolutions that people know is my great idiot theory of revolution.
Yes.
Which is right, which is not the great man theory, but like,
yes,
it does take a certain kind of moron to like actually blow it so bad that you get overthrown. These are some of the dumbest I have ever met in my life. Charles,
when you listen to your podcast on Rome, watching in slow motion, the Romans destroying this 100-year period of more egalitarian, more democratic, more to watch them destroy it by just taking away farmland, and you're watching it in slow motion going, why would you do that?
Why are you doing this? And Charles the First, who was the first sort of, and he wound up being the sort of prototype for all my future leaders that get overthrown. This is during like the Cromwell era in England. Like nobody wanted to chop his head off. Like nobody wanted to kill him.
I know.
They just wanted some reform. All they wanted was like, we just want Parliament to control the budget and maybe like have a veto over War and Peace. And
we're not looking to decapitate.
Yeah, like I can't do that. So like they had to chop his head off.
I'm shocked that there has not been an immigration Kent State moment at this point. I mean, that just seems inevitable. Something bad is absolutely going to happen at an ice conflict, and whether it's false flag or whether it's an accident or whether it's fully motivated, that's going to happen. That's going to trigger martial law or an attempt at it.
A reaction, right.
You don't understand how good you have it. I believe by the fourth quarter, we're going to see a substantial acceleration.
Moody's Analytics chief economist saying he's crunched some numbers, and based on those numbers, you've got 22 states. You're talking about almost half of the country that's right now in a recession, according to this data, or on the precipice of one.
In the fourth quarter of 2025, this economy is going to be humming.
Actually, all of agriculture is struggling right now. It's more than just us on the row crop side. According to the University of Illinois, every farmer is going to lose about $100 an acre.
So I would expect third, fourth quarter, we are going to see a substantial acceleration.
John Deere is laying off people, and Case IH is laying off people. And that's all due because of the fact that we have no income.
Okay, the Donald Trump economy. We own the economy in the fourth quarter.
U.S. consumer inflation accelerates. Weekly jobless claims approach a 4-year high. Axios reported that, quote, grocery inflation is the highest since 2022.
I think we're going to really pick up in the fourth quarter.
The latest employment snapshot from the Bureau of Labor Statistics paints a bleak picture. Only 22,000 jobs were added in August, and black unemployment reached 7.5%, its highest level since October of 2021.
I think we're going to see it in the economic numbers in the third and fourth quarter.
In the third and fourth quarter of this year?
Yep.
That's fascinating.
Announced corporate job cuts, Andrew, in the U.S. surging past 1 million so far this year.
He said you ain't seen nothing yet. I think we're just going to accelerate third, fourth quarter.
With 153,000 new layoffs announced just in October, according to Challenger, that is the worst October since 2003.
In the fourth quarter, you will feel the power of Donald Trump's economy.
What is so enraging for so many in this city is that Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on the punishment of his political enemies, he ran on easing the cost of living crisis, and he ran on engaging in a program of mass deportation. It's that second promise of the cost of living crisis that brought so many to his campaign, and yet he's unable and unwilling to deliver on that because he's beholden to the very billionaires that are profiting off of that crisis. So what he's doing is focusing entirely on this agenda of punishment and cruelty.
Mr. Secretary, it's not news anchors at NBC saying it, it's the voters a week ago saying life is too expensive in this country. So do you believe the idea that voters are saying affordability is a problem for me is a con job?
I believe even this morning you had 2 people come on and say, well, I look at the price at the pump and I know costs are up. Well, gasoline's down. So that is a con job. And I think that's what's frustrating.
So you don't believe that all the people who went to vote last Tuesday on the issue of affordability, my rent's too high, I can't afford to buy a house, groceries are too expensive, you think they're just misperceiving what's happening in their lives?
I think that that we inherited an affordability crisis. We have slowed the price increases down, and they are going to continue to slow down, and that real working class wages will go up, and that will address the affordability issue. And I think this is what Democrats are afraid to do. They've gone to the courts to try to stop President Trump and this great economy. That hasn't worked. They get overruled at SCOTUS. We go to the media, who carries their water. That hasn't worked, so they shut down the government and hurt the economy. Let's keep the economy open, let our policies kick in, and let's see if what I just talked about, let's see if those 2 lines cross. Costs come down, real wages go up, and then we can have an election next November.
Democrats now have an opportunity to counter Trump's hateful, harmful rhetoric and disastrous policies with real effective alternatives. Zohran Mamdani's successful New York mayoral campaign shows how powerful a clear message and moral clarity can be in winning elections. Policies like Medicare for All remain overwhelmingly popular, and as skyrocketing premiums are set to make healthcare unaffordable for millions, Democrats should push for a plan that not only alleviates suffering and saves lives in the short term, but offers a sustainable, hopeful vision for the future. In other words, they need to abandon their corporate lobbyists, think tanks, and consultants, listen to the people that they're actually representing, and give people a real reason to vote for them.